A lot of these BMWs get stolen for street takeovers to do donuts. It's easy to see why. Well, that looks like a typical BMW there. Wow.
Well, those are all your diesel emission stuff.
Ah.
Yeah, basically you're gonna need the tank.
The diesel exhaust fluid tank to keep the emissions clean on the diesel. You're telling me it's $3,117. Welcome to Hoopies Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube. And good news, Car Trek is coming back. We actually convinced Tavares to get out from underneath of his P1 for a few days in his other hoopty projects to film a Car Trek with us. So I needed to buy myself a very cheap car. So I put out feelers and actually ended up buying 3 because so many good deals were coming my way, I had to say yes. And 2 of them are in this video that won't be getting used. They are both BMWs, both very rare special specs, and I'm thrilled to have them, and they both cost me only $1,500 a piece. Unfortunately, one of them is not here because it broke down on the way from the auction and it's not at the house, it's at the Car Ninjas. But this one made it and it is really, really cool. It is a 2009 BMW 335 diesel, which they only sold in the United States from 2009 until 2011. About 10,000 cars sold in the US before the next generation diesel, which was kind of neutered. These 430 pound-feet of torque with the diesel and like 35 miles per gallon on the highway in a beautiful package. This one is a great spec as well, but 330,000 miles and plenty of issues, but it does run and drive fantastic. So today I'm going to give you first a tour of this very cheap 335, and then we'll go look at the other one that supposedly starts. It is a 330i from the previous generation, an E46, a ZHP, so the performance package with a manual transmission. So a very, very rare, very cool BMW. And after that, we'll head to Scottsdale, Arizona, where I'll be working Barrett-Jackson, hosting their live TV coverage, and they have the craziest docket of exotics they have ever had, including a Pagani Huayra that's selling no reserve. Obviously, you won't find a Pagani for sale very often, if ever, but if you want to join me in making really bad decisions buying cheap BMWs, you'll appreciate Autotempest, the sponsor of today's video, as it has all the filters to narrow things down, and that's important because they pull together so many listings from all the top listing sites everywhere you'd want to search for a car. They're also constantly improving the site and adding new features. They just added the much requested dark mode to their iOS and Android apps. And you can see now the full price history of every car that they have listed. So if the seller has dropped the price or raised the price, you'll see that. But also you'll see if it's appeared on Autotempest before and what the mileage and price was back then. You can actually see for yourself on there with me searching nationwide for 2009 to 2011 BMW 335, specifying the diesel version or the E46 chassis with the manual transmission of that previous generation BMW, and it looks like I got a great deal on the surface. Well, not really at all. You'll see that in a bit. So use Autotempest responsibly and buy the nicest BMW you can afford, not the cheapest like this one you're about to get the tour on. Like I said, only 3 production years in the US of the 335 before it went away, and I was working at the BMW dealership, well, just before these came out. This redesign, the new body style, had come out though, and while I like the older E46, the classic, look better, these didn't offend me as all, and they look great as M cars and sports cars as well. This one, well, it's 330,000 miles, so it's had a pretty rough life, a lot of rock chips, a lot of impacts on the bumper, all faded up. But with a bumper respray, I think it would clean up pretty well. A massive chip here that's sort of been strangely touched up, so I guess a little bit worse for wear, but it was $1,500 and it does drive fantastically. Interior wise, it's a much better kept car than the outside. You can see it does have that saddle interior, which looks fantastic with the two-tone and the black. Beautiful wood inside. A little bit of a dog chewing incident over here, but no big deal. Nice options, cold weather pack with the heated seats, the sunroof, and BMW's infamous iDrive. And apparently the previous owner, well, they left the sunroof open, water got in it, and this knob, it doesn't work. As you can see, when I start it up, I have a low coolant light. I also have a check engine light, and it definitely smells of oil as well. So we got the trifecta of typical BMW leaks on this thing, but 325,000 miles, you can't really complain all that much. Under the hood, well, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great as well. All this water on the floor, that's from the snow outside. But yeah, just a dusty, dirty engine bay that would probably detail up pretty nice. I know the coolant leak's coming from somewhere around there, and it does smell really bad, but the diesel oil smell, also a mess. If BMW isn't leaking, it's empty. But there's no serious damage other than the front bumper, just some minor dings and things here and there. The tire's a little worn, the wheel's okay. You can see the back, that shark fin antenna, everything else just very dirty, but should clean up just fine. I feel like this one was an absolute steal for 1,500 bucks, and thanks to Eurasian Bob for sending this one to me. He actually sold it years ago, and then after 4 or 5 years of ownership, people traded it back in on something else. So he just took it in and threw it right at me without looking it over or anything. Yeah, the original owner's manual in the back as well. So I think I got me a cream puff right here. Initially, I was more excited about the E46 with the manual transmission, the higher horsepower engine, but this one way more powerful, and looks like it'll be a way, way better car. So with that, let's cruise over to the Car Ninjas. A lot of these BMWs get stolen for street takeovers to do donuts. It's easy to see why. That and Infiniti G35, they end up smashing into each other, and still does that really, really well. This torquey drivetrain is awesome. Uh-oh, it is rear-wheel drive. Okay, roads are in much better shape. Wow, this thing is super torquey. Holy moly. I mean, the specs were there, obviously, with how much torque this thing has. But then when you feel it, man, this is an amazing, amazing machine. It's crazy, only made these for a few years and then severely neutered the diesels. But, yeah, that engine is healthy. Transmission, yeah, all the shifts, everything feels fine. We have the check engine light, but I'm not sure what that's for. The iDrive is dead, like I said. But one big thing that would give away a high mileage car is the suspension, as far as the clunks and the looseness and all that stuff. And this thing, it feels fine. Pulling up to a stoplight, I can feel motor bounce, but not too bad for an old diesel. A little just vibrating. All right, let's spool it up and go. Jeez. It's leaving all those other cars in the dust. That is pretty amazing. This would be a perfectly fine car for somebody for 1,500 bucks. That's crazy. You can even work around the iDrive stuff. There's plenty of buttons up here to change the radio stations, you know, change the radio to CD and all that stuff. So there is a way to work around it if it's too expensive to fix, but I have no idea. Buying hoopies is certainly a crapshoot, but Eurasian Bob did sell this thing before and took it back on trade from the same customer. Not like the other one that it was a bank repo dumped at an auction, but it has half the mileage of this, and it's older from what's supposed to be the golden era of BMW, but yeah, it didn't even make it to the house, unfortunately. So we're almost to Johnny's and German Motor Works, and let's look at the other $1,500 BMW prize here. God, that's so torquey. Oh yeah, there she is. A very rare, very special BMW. Whoa. It's smoking from under the hood. Interesting. Well, what we have here are two $1,500 very rare, very special BMWs. Two icons for $3,000. The 335D with 300,000 miles, and this, the E46, a 2004 ZHP BMW. So this got all the M stuff, the manual transmission. They didn't make an M3 sedan in this era, but this is the closest you could get. And as you can see, it's it's in pretty good shape. 330i, a little bit of rust on the rear quarters, and it does go down beneath a little bit, but otherwise, this side's a little bit worse, but yeah, I mean, it's still a car. You go inside, much nicer shape, a really cool spec. The black outside and sort of the two-tone on the inside. You can see this cool brush trim for the sporty ZHP, the M3 steering wheel, the 6-speed manual. This is the thing. Unfortunately, though, you see that jug of water right there. That is a very, very bad sign. So somebody was pouring coolant into this car, and it was going out really quick. And I had the auction deliver the car rather than me go and pick it up and drive it. And they had some flunky drive it who wasn't paying attention to the gauges and cooked the engine. So maybe it has a bad head gasket. I'm not sure. It's, yeah. Oh my. What is that wiring? Well, let's see if it starts. Got the key and borrowed the jump box from Johnny. Let's see what happens. Okay. Well, it makes the BMW bings and bongs. That doesn't smell good. That doesn't sound good. It's definitely down a cylinder. Oh my. Oh my. So, what does that smell like? Yeah. Yeah, bad head gasket. Man, those are the wrong size tires too. Jeez. What a sad thing. Well, might as well take it around the block, huh? It does move. Valve cover gasket leaking on this one too. What in the hell is going on here with the Ninja? What's all this crap? Is that the oxygen sensors like dummied in?
Yeah.
And all this what?
What is that? They're right there.
Yeah, it's so weird, but it runs. But oh, that's not good.
Yeah, no.
No filtered air.
What's wrong with it?
Well, it overheated getting driven over here. Oh yeah. My God. Well, it's dancing. You smell exhaust? Huh. All right. Well, I guess I should at least take it around the block and see what else is wrong, huh? Obviously bad head gasket.
It's not going to get any worse than that.
No. Okay, I'll move old Blue out of the way. You worked on this one before, the 335.
Yes. Looks familiar, yes.
Well, clutch feels okay. Not bad on the power once it clears its throat. And the suspension doesn't feel that bad either. Okay, traction control's working. No ABS light, airbag. Well, the airbag light is on. Okay. Here we go. Oh, it is just billowing out smoke. Open road here. It's a full smoke screen. Okay, yeah, obviously bad head gasket. The more you drive it, the more you screw up the car. So no reason to take it any further, but brakes feel good, suspension feels good. Oh, it's really smoking. All right, well, we'll see what the Car Ninja thinks, how he prices out a head gasket. But yeah, 163,000 miles. Man, it is a smoke show. Holy moly. Oof. Well. Okay, stepped in it here. Yeah. How's it underneath? Oh. I mean, it's crustified. Yeah. but it's still a usable car, I suppose. All right, well, we clearly saw why that car was given back to the bank, but let's see why this one was traded in. Did you see my smoke show?
Yes.
What do you think?
Head gasket, yeah.
Obviously, but is the motor savable when they cook that bad?
Well, technically yes and no. So once you overheat it so badly, you can pull the threads out of the block when you torque the new bolts. So I bought a car like that with the same engine for myself as an experiment, and instead of bolts, I used studs, head studs, and the car still drives today.
Okay, well that's a cheap, kind of rusty, but it's a ZHP, so
Those are hard to find.
it's worth maybe experimenting on. But yeah, you can give me a price for that, but also a lot of issues with this one. Check engine light, probably motor mounts, coolant, an oil leak, and the iDrive is completely dead. But
This car looks familiar though.
well, yeah, there's service records with you all over it, so it has been very well taken care of. 335,000 miles though.
Okay, let me grab the scanner real quick.
Cool. Whoa, well that looks like a typical BMW there. Wow.
Well, those are all your diesel emission stuff.
Ah.
Yeah, basically you're gonna need the tank for the DEF fluid.
So basically, to keep this diesel clean, they have a little tank to spray on the exhaust to help with the diesel emissions. And people delete those, but that is quite illegal. And I'm sure you've heard of some YouTubers and tuner shops, diesel shops that do deletes and get in big trouble. But crap. Okay, so to fix the check engine light,
It's gonna cost you more than the car is worth.
right, but will this eventually fail, and then with the DEF thing not working, the car will turn itself off?
Yes, it will not start, yes.
So that's why it was traded in.
That'll be my guess.
Wonderful.
Oh, you got the coolant light on.
Oh, yeah.
Pressure fluid light on.
Yeah, it's been leaking quite a bit of coolant and leaking some oil as well. Yeah.
Let's take a peek. And from the last service when she was here, I remember she needs the iDrive too.
Yeah, the iDrive knob is dead. Yep. Okay. Yeah, well, that's the crappy thing about these modern diesels, right?
Yeah.
It's just the emission stuff. Well, you smell that coolant.
Yeah. I see it. It's a flange. It's a coolant flange right there.
Okay.
No big deal.
Easy fix?
Easy fix. Yeah.
All right. Well, how about the oil leak? I'm going to guess valve cover gasket.
I hope not.
Is it bad on the diesels?
And it is a valve cover gasket.
Does it have the weird little cam thingy on top that breaks and...
No, I never seen one actually. No.
Okay.
So yeah, we have the valve cover on top.
Yeah, we have a very chewed up under tray as well. Jeez.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
And then honestly, it's gravity, so we have to do that, clean everything, and keep an eye on.
Yeah, a lot of this is just snow and wet from the roads and
The residual, yeah.
my donuts.
Oh, you did donuts?
Yeah, snow donuts.
Nice. Yeah, it's leaking on me now.
Yeah, tires look like they're wearing a little unevenly on the inside.
Um,
Not too weird for a
Not
BMW
too
though.
weird, no.
They're definitely worn out though.
well, the shocks, I mean, they've been replaced at some point because they're built-in.
Yeah, it rides great. It feels fine in that sense.
Maybe we just need an alignment. Your transmission is super dry, which is rare for that many miles, you know?
Yeah, but we probably just pull the panels off and leave them off because there's nothing left. Jeez.
Yeah, a couple screws will remove.
Yeah.
No problem. Let me remove these covers here because they look weird and they might make noise when you drive, you know?
That sounds good. And then you can price me out fixing my two wonderful prizes here, huh? How's it looking?
Not good.
I knew that, but is it more than what I paid for the cars? $1,500 each?
Oh god. Yeah.
On both?
On both, yeah.
Oh my God! So $7,500 on the diesel. $4,000 on the 330 ZHP. So okay, the DEF tank. So the diesel exhaust fluid tank to keep the emissions clean on the diesel. Mm-hmm. You're telling me is $3,117
for a new one. Yeah.
And the heater is $487.
Yes.
Labor to put it in, $759. So it's over $5,000 just to get all that stupid emissions crap working.
Yes. Unfortunately, you have so many miles on it because usually BMW warranties those, but you're way gone on that.
Wow. So then the rest of it, I mean, there's still a couple of $1,000s worth of stuff to do as far as the valve cover gasket labor. Yeah, it's always around $1,000 for that. Motor mount's pretty reasonable though. Yeah, not too bad. But then that's the iDrive to fix that.
Yes.
$463.
Yes.
$7,416. Okay. The 330 is a little simpler, but obviously a lot of labor to take apart the engine. And we don't really know why it overheated, so it could have
a bad radiator, coolant leak, I mean, who knows?
Right. So
this is just to fix what we know.
The head gasket. Doing your trick. $4,130. What if I got a used motor because they're like $600-800? What's the labor on swapping it about?
I can look it up, but can you find one for a ZHP? Because you know they're ZHP only, right?
I suppose you're right. So yeah, the head gasket $498, and then miscellaneous. What's the miscellaneous?
Well, oil, antifreeze, the machine shop.
If it needs machining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly,
so $4,137. Huh. Yeah. So I got two turds thrown at me, and I am covered in poo right now. Okay, go ahead and fix them. No way. No way. Yeah, I think to the junkyard they go. Yeah, that is the end of the life for the BMW. But it's interesting because this one, obviously, this is neglect.
Yes.
This was a failure after some severe neglect from a coolant leak that somebody let go. Otherwise, this car would have been fine. This is just modern BMWs being BMW. 330,000 miles, that's a useful service life out of it. You can't complain that much. But the diesel part, the engine's still strong, the transmission's still strong, the car still looks great, but it's mechanically totaled because of electronics and emissions crap.
But on this one, great interior.
Interior. I mean, they would part out for a lot. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, I really don't know how to do a proper segue in this video other than showing the most expensive BMW 3 Series on the planet after showing some of the cheapest. And this one, very, very special, a 1989 M3 Evo 2. So you have that wide body kit, the special performance variant of the M3, mint condition on the inside, and this one's showing, well, 102,000 kilometers since it is a Euro, so a little over 60,000 miles. Pretty incredible, and there's two of them. This one, a custom E30 M3 next to us. Now, this is all part of one collection that I'm going to walk through called the Garage X Collection, and it's pretty unreal what this anonymous person is selling off at Barrett-Jackson. There's over 2,000 cars here, so I'm just barely scratching the surface. But you can see this guy had excellent taste. Ferrari 360 in yellow, a coupe, and a factory gated manual, a 997 turbo, and yes, also a manual transmission. The GT3 RS and that 964 turbo down there, also manual transmission. So you can see what this guy's taste was. As you walk down the row, you have the Nissan Skyline, a custom lowered little wide body flares on it as well. A bit of a blind spot on these, but obviously this is an icon. Now, a non-manual transmission right here with the 500e. This was built in collaboration with Porsche, built at the Porsche factory, but designed by Mercedes. And it has that wide body on it. So if you're a Porsche collector, this is the closest you can get to a Porsche sedan in the 1990s. And it is really nice, really mint. But it continues on with two very special Mercedes. So you have the 190e Evo 1 manual transmission and the Evo 2. So you can see how the body kit sort of evolved over the course of 1 year. That wing gets so much bigger in the back year to year. Major collectibles. As far as Mercedes go, these are like $250,000 plus these Evo 2s now. Just absolutely insane. And also part of the collection is this custom Defender as well. So this is one guy selling all of these cars, no reserve, and we're just getting started. The big stuff is in the salon. Well, I say this as a joke, but this isn't your dad's Barrett-Jackson anymore. They've always evolved with the times, but you're thinking maybe muscle cars, and there still is a lot of that, amazing restaurants and such. But this whole section devoted to exotics, and we'll work our way down. The Aventador Ultime, and then a very, very yellow Aventador Roadster. But I have to be careful, a little tight. A lot of the hybrid stuff getting plugged in around here. But yeah, a 48 Speciale, how can I walk just right past that? But I'm supposed to focus on the Garage X collection, which is kind of hard. Some 750S's, an Aston Martin shooting brake, a Zagato, kind of like the very, very pricey Aston Martin clown shoe. But here's another one with the Garage X collection, a Murcielago SV. Incredibly rare, these things. They built them in the recession and nobody bought them at the time, but the performance was unreal. 661 horsepower, the 0 to 60 in a little over 3 seconds, and very low production numbers. Ed had a hoopty one, but this one is really nice. The Ford GTs, always a great selection of Barrett-Jackson. This one's really unique. 3 in a row with no stripes on them, which I think is really interesting. The Porsche 959, that's unreal. We have a 959 here at the sale, which was a homologation racing special, and that wide body, just so dang cool. But yeah, there's the third Ford GT, which is all exposed carbon fiber, just so amazing. And then a Hennessy Venom with 1,800 horsepower. These things just absolutely unreal. But the big belle of the ball of the Garage X collection is the Pagani Huayra right here. And yeah, in the flesh. I cannot believe it. Of course, they do the gull-wing door similar to the gull-wing, which there's actually a gull-wing right over there with its doors up. It's just so much, it's overwhelming. And there's the Batmobile. But yeah, Mercedes V12 in the back of these. See the active arrows deployed in the back, the quad exit exhausts. Oh, so I'm in heaven. Obviously in a much fancier place than where I was just a few days ago with the Ninja and some very, very broken BMWs that will unfortunately probably be going to the junkyard. And you can watch me on the block on live television on History and FYI. Friday and Saturday we're all on History selling these cars, and I have to think of something to say on every single car, and it's live, and if I screw up, I screw up. There's no deleting it and starting over like with YouTube. So it's a different world for me, a very, very different world from those hoopty BMWs, but they're all fun. Thank you so much for watching and making the hoopty buys and, well, experiencing this for 5 years now possible.